Peppa Pig has entertained kids for decades, but once you look closer, it starts feeling less like a cartoon and more like a cover-up. 1. The barbecue problem. One episode shows Daddy Pig and his friends having a barbecue. Seems normal until you notice who is there. A pig, a bull, and some rabbits stand around the fire talking about food. Nobody says what they are cooking. The show never tells us. But beef comes from cows. Pork comes from pigs. So what exactly is sizzling on that grill? The rabbits look relaxed, but the whole thing feels very suspicious. Maybe they are eating vegetables, or maybe the show avoids answering because the truth would be too dark. Either way, that barbecue scene raises far more questions than it should. 2. Madame Gazelle's secret life. Madame Gazelle has been teaching forever, and maybe that's not just an exaggeration. She owns a tree that's older than most castles, and somehow still looks exactly the same. When she stands in front of a mirror, there's nothing there. No reflection at all. Her house is surrounded by bats, and she gets jumpy whenever someone mentions glitter. That's not normal teacher behavior. Maybe she's not just old, maybe she's centuries old. The more you think about it, the more it feels like Peppa's teacher drinks more than tea after dark. 3. Where did all the humans go? Something strange happened long before Peppa was born. In her world, only a few humans remain. The Queen, Santa, and a pirate who wanders around like nothing's wrong. Everyone else just vanished. Or maybe they didn't vanish at all. Maybe they changed. The animals act exactly like people, with jobs, houses and cars, but no humans anywhere. It's as if the world reset itself and gave everyone fur and snouts instead of skin. If that's true, Peppa's town isn't a cartoon. It's the aftermath of something huge we were never meant to see. 4. Grandpa Pig's pirate days. Grandpa Pig loves his boat a little too much, and maybe now we know why. Inside Mr. Fox's shop, there are tiny ships that look exactly like the ones in Grandpa's attic. That's no accident. His boat even waves a pirate flag, the Jolly Roger. Maybe Grandpa didn't always spend his days gardening and fixing fences. Maybe he once sailed the seas, hunting treasure with Redbeard himself. It would explain why he's so comfortable around the water and keeps a parrot at home. The truth might be that Grandpa Pig's calm retirement hides an outlaw past. 5. The never-ending Grampy Rabbit. Grampy Rabbit has been around longer than anyone can remember, and that's not just an exaggeration. In one episode, he finds a message in a bottle and casually says he wrote it 100 years ago. 100! And he's still hopping around like it's nothing. Either he's secretly immortal, or he figured out time travel between boat trips. It could even explain why there are so many Miss Rabbits everywhere. Maybe he cloned himself. And her too. Whatever he's done, Grampy Rabbit isn't just old, he's possibly the oldest living mystery in Peppa's entire universe. 6. Mr. Fox's shady side hustle. Mr. Fox always claims to have everything you need, but that might be because he already stole it. He once sold Grandpa Pig a metal detector that looked exactly like the one Grandpa lost. His shop is filled with random treasures, ropes and sea gear, as if they came straight from a pirate's ship. Maybe that's not a coincidence. Maybe Mr. Fox is actually Pirate Redbeard living a double life. He sails by sea, steals what he wants, and then sells it back on land with a smile. Smooth criminal? Absolutely. 7. The Miss Rabbit Empire. Miss Rabbit isn't just busy, she's everywhere. She runs the shop, drives the bus, flies the helicopter, and somehow works in every country Peppa visits. Either she's mastered teleportation or something far stranger is going on. Grandpa Rabbit, her brilliant yet suspicious father, might have cloned her. Think about it. A world filled with identical, hard-working rabbits running everything. That's not dedication. That's domination. Maybe while everyone laughs at her silly jobs, Miss Rabbit is quietly taking over the planet one cheerful hello at a time. And honestly, she's doing a pretty good job at it. 8. Susie Sheep's secret origin. Susie Sheep's family is a little unusual. There's her mum, her grandma, and her cousin, but no dad anywhere. That alone is strange, but it gets darker when you remember that the first real cloned animal was a sheep named Dolly. What if Susie isn't a regular kid at all? Maybe Grandpa Rabbit, the town's mad genius, cloned her in one of his experiments. It could explain why she has an imaginary friend named Leo, someone who feels real because he might be a memory from the original Susie. That's not cute. That's quietly tragic. 9. Edmund Elephant and the Time Loop. Edmund Elephant is supposed to be a toddler, but he talks like a scientist and knows more about space than most adults. It's like he's been studying for decades while never aging a day. Maybe he actually has. Some believe Edmund messed with time itself, freezing the entire town in an endless loop so he could keep learning forever. It explains why no one in Peppa's world ever grows up. While everyone else laughs and jumps in puddles, Edmund might be quietly stuck in his own experiment. Smart enough to break time, but not to fix it. 10. Super Potato's strange power. Super Potato isn't just a silly TV hero, he can actually fly. Every other talking vegetable hangs from wires or rolls around, but he soars through the sky like it's completely normal. That's way too real for a kid's show. Maybe he isn't acting at all. Some believe he came from a secret experiment where scientists tried to create superpowered vegetables. If that's true, then Super Potato might be the only survivor. The others probably ended up as salad. It's funny until you realize he's basically a flying mutant spud with a tragic origin story. 11. The vegetables that talk back. Peppa's world is full of talking vegetables, which sounds funny until you realize everyone still eats them. That's basically casual cannibalism with extra crunch. Maybe these veggies aren't normal plants at all. They could be the leftovers of the same event that turned humans into animals. Or maybe they're lab experiments gone wrong. Either way, it's unsettling to watch Peppa eat a salad when the lettuce could have cousins walking around. Imagine being a carrot and watching your friends get served for dinner. Suddenly, the whole "eat your veggies" message feels a lot darker than it should. 12. Aunt Dottie's mysterious past. Aunt Dottie doesn't quite fit in with the rest of Peppa's family. She suddenly appears one day, speaks with a thick American accent, and insists on celebrating Thanksgiving, which no one else in Peppa's world has even heard of. It's like she's been living on another continent or another timeline. Maybe she left the country years ago and cut all contact. Or maybe she ran from something bigger. The strangest part is how no one questions it. They just act like she's normal when she clearly walked straight out of another life entirely. 13. The missing grandparents. Peppa's family loves talking about Grandma and Grandpa Pig, but have you noticed they only exist on Mummy Pig's side? Daddy Pig's parents are complete mysteries. There are no pictures, no stories, not even a single "when I was your age" moment. It's like they were erased. Some people think they were pirates who disappeared at sea, which would explain Daddy Pig's boat obsession. Others suggest something much weirder, that Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig might actually share the same parents. If that's true, then Peppa's family tree just turned into a very confusing circle. 14. Is George really a pig? There's something odd about George's name. In Peppa's world, everyone's first and last initials match: Peppa Pig, Susie Sheep, Pedro Pony. But George breaks the rule completely. His initials don't line up, which makes you wonder if he was really born into the pig family. Maybe he was adopted and kept his original name, or maybe the pigs found him somewhere and decided to raise him as their own. It would explain why he barely talks and clings to his dinosaur instead of people. If that's true, Peppa's little brother might be Peppa's biggest mystery. 15. The mystery of Auntie Pig. Peppa's cousin Chloe shows up all the time, but her parents barely exist. Uncle Pig appears here and there, yet his wife, known only as Auntie Pig, is completely missing. No photo, no voice, nothing. Some say she passed away long ago, which is why no one talks about her. Others think she's actually related to Mummy Pig, connecting a secret third pig family that disappeared from town. It's strange how everyone acts normal while an entire family branch has gone silent. Maybe Auntie Pig's story was buried for a reason, and not just in the family album. 16. The Lonely Queen. When Peppa meets the Queen, something feels off right away. The castle is empty. There are no guards, no servants, not even a corgi. She lives completely alone, smiling like nothing's wrong. But maybe everything is. What if she's not just the ruler, but the last human left alive? The animals might have taken over long ago, leaving her as a symbol to keep peace, or to remind everyone who used to be in charge. It's kind of funny until you realize she's basically living in a royal zoo, surrounded by her own replacements. 17. The Wolf Next Door. Mr. Wolf is a little too obsessed with Peppa's family. He always jokes about eating them and keeps mentioning houses made of straw and sticks. It's funny on the surface, but maybe not so much when you think about it. What if the pig family are the last survivors of the original fairy tale? Their brick house might not just be cozy, it could be protection. Maybe Mr. Wolf's jokes are really warnings from a hunter who never finished his meal. It's Peppa Pig meets a horror story, just hidden under bright colors and laughter. 18. The Polite Predators. Dr. Bear, Mr. Lion, and Miss Crocodile all seem friendly, but something about them feels wrong. They're carnivores pretending to love salad. That doesn't add up. Lions don't crave lettuce, and crocodiles don't chew carrots for fun. So what do they really eat? Maybe they found a loophole. The talking vegetables could be their secret food source. It sounds ridiculous until you realize no one ever questions where the veggies go. Everyone smiles, but the truth might be darker. The predators didn't stop eating meat. They just started eating friends that can't scream loud enough. 19. The Last Crocodile. Mrs. Crocodile doesn't fit in with anyone else. Every other main character is warm and fuzzy, but she's cold-blooded and covered in scales. Even Madame Gazelle, who's usually calm, looks nervous around her. That fear isn't random. It feels ancient, like some old rivalry never forgotten. Maybe reptiles once ruled Peppa's world before the mammals took over. Now, only Mrs. Crocodile remains, blending in while she waits for her species to rise again. She smiles politely, but it's the kind of smile that says, "I'm patient and extinction doesn't scare me." 20. The town above the water. Every house in Peppa's world sits on a hill, and it's not just for the view. In the flood episode, we see water swallowing the lower ground like it happens all the time. That's not random weather, it's a warning. Maybe the oceans rose after some disaster long ago, wiping out the towns below. The survivors rebuilt higher and pretended everything was fine. Now, every bright rainbow and sunny day hides the truth that Peppa's world is really a flooded wasteland, and those cute hills are all that's left above the waves. 21. Rebecca Rabbit's dry burrow. Rebecca Rabbit's family lives underground, but somehow their house never floods. Even during the Great Flood, when the whole town turned into a lake, the rabbit tunnels stayed perfectly dry. That's not luck. Either they've built some kind of waterproof fortress, or they're hiding advanced technology far beyond the other animals. Maybe their burrow connects to a massive network under the hills, a secret underground city where rabbits rule from below. It would explain why Miss Rabbit is everywhere. She might not just work hard, she might be running things from beneath everyone's feet. 22. The animals that never spoke. Not every creature in Peppa's world can talk. Peppa's pet goldfish just swims in circles, and Grandpa's parrot only repeats a few words. Yet everyone else goes to school, drives cars, and pays taxes. That's a strange gap. Maybe some animals never evolved enough to gain voices, stuck halfway between pet and person. Or maybe it's darker than that, an invisible class system where the smart species rule and the rest stay silent. Either way, it's unsettling to think Peppa feeds her goldfish while chatting about dinner, never noticing who's really trapped in that bowl. 23. The creepy zoo. Something feels wrong about Peppa's zoo. Every animal inside. Penguins, turtles, tortoises can't talk. Meanwhile, the animals visiting them walk, laugh, and buy tickets. That's not a zoo, that's a prison. It's a place built to lock away the ones who never evolved or never got a voice. Even Madame Gazelle seems nervous there, like she knows it's not just for fun. The scariest part is that no one questions it. The kids cheer, the parents smile, and the animals stare back, silently wondering what crime they committed just for being born ordinary. 24. The day that never ends. Peppa turned 4 in 2004 and has stayed 4 ever since. George keeps having the same birthday, and the sky is always bright and sunny. No one gets older, no one changes, and no one seems to notice. It's like the whole town is stuck in a perfect day that never ends. Maybe Edmund Elephant's science experiments froze time, or Super Potato's powers broke reality. Whatever caused it, Peppa's world isn't just cheerful. It's trapped. Every laugh, every puddle, every oink is part of a loop that has no tomorrow. 25. The camera never stops. There's an episode where Peppa films her family for television, and it seems innocent until you realize what that could mean. What if the show we watch is the same one she's filming? Maybe Peppa's entire life is a broadcast running on repeat, made for humans who still exist somewhere beyond her world. Every episode could be another rerun in an endless loop, with Peppa performing the same happy moments forever. The scariest thought isn't that we're watching her. It's that she might be watching us too, smiling for a camera that never turns off. 26. The strange reason everyone falls when they laugh. Have you ever noticed how every time someone laughs in Peppa Pig, they all just drop to the ground? It's not normal laughter. It looks like the whole world suddenly glitches. Maybe it's not just a funny moment. What if every fall is a tiny reset, a way to keep everyone from thinking too much? Like the world itself is pressing a restart button every time someone gets too happy. Maybe that's why no one ever changes, grows up, or asks why they keep falling at all. And that's it for today's dive into Peppa Pig's strangest secrets. Who would have thought a kids show could hide this much weirdness? If you could solve one of these mysteries for real, which would it be? Drop your theory below and hit subscribe, because the next story might be even darker.